Oh my god! So we're looking at Wednesday, May 15th. I'm back, even though I'm still on antibiotics, but I'm alive, so baby steps. Advanced class talking about Princess Bride and all kinds of fun things from there. Let's see, hall passes can now be turned in. Final princess test coming up on Friday. You can push it till next week. If you chose to do I'm going to steal it real quick, don't freak out. If you chose to take this during my time I was gone, you're more than welcome to turn it in the day that you take the test. If you're taking the test on Friday, it's due on Friday. If you're pushing the test to next week, then it's due next week. So it's whenever you're wanting to take the test, that's when it comes due. You can turn it in after the test, it just then counts as half points. Because the whole point of doing it is to prepare you for the test. That's the thinking behind it. And then for those of you who were here yesterday and you saw that I had a sub, Miss Genta, just to harass her, I have a picture of her from 7th grade because she was one of my students. Her nickname, by the way, was Ma, because then Magenta made me laugh every time I said her name. So I called her Mom. And then our Charger Challenge, our last one's coming up on Monday. Today at 2:45, it opens up to any kid, even those who have done it in the past. Reynolds.
Montoya's on here twice.
Yeah, stop bragging. And then let's see, the things you can buy. For the most part, as we're getting along here, if you guys don't irritate me, then I let you buy anything on the list, but we'll find out from there. And to here.
Wait, sorry, don't irritate you?
Don't go too far with it.
We have never done this. Not a
Wait.
What child?
It wasn't on me twice, so do we find it
No,
twice?
it's only once. It's just when I was cutting and pasting the words onto there, I probably made a mistake because I'm human. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were a monster.
I am, but I'm a human monster. Speaking of human monsters, we're going to come back to this, because this is a bit more on the uplifting, happier side-ish things. With the whole elephant in the room, if you will. Yeah, it's over there. Did you see it? The whole thing we don't talk about, because apparently kids all freaked out, the threat to the school. Did you guys talk about it in first period today?
Yeah.
Did you have questions or thoughts or anything on that still that I can try to help with? Ooh, real quick, I'll give you my viewpoint on it to try and see if it helps at all. Because my daughter's had a ton of anxiety on this. And so I've been spending quite a bit of time talking to her. My belief is there was no actual ever threat to our school. And a lot of that comes from, one, we have good kids who, a ton of them sent me that Snapchat thing Sunday morning. And so I woke up, I think by 9 a.m., 10 a.m., I had kids sending me, hey, just saw this, you need to be aware of it. I had forwarded on to Mrs. Thorpe, Mr. Butts, and the police by 10 a.m. Sunday morning. They contacted me by noon on Sunday saying, hey, we've already been there, it's taken care of, we've already covered all of this information. And I was like, hey, that's great. But then, of course, it sort of got traction and spun, and we had issues from there. By show of hands, how many of you guys have actually seen that post that was put on Snapchat? That's kind of what I figured. A lot of what's going on are people who are just talking about what other people are talking about. If you've seen the actual post that was put on Snapchat, there's no actual threat there. What there is it all goes back to a really dumb kid who wanted attention. And what this really dumb kid did was post a picture of himself holding a gun. But the gun was pointed at his own head. And it just said, pew, pew. And the gun looked like an airsoft gun. It didn't even look like a real gun. That was the original post. Someone else saw that post. And then someone else said, hey, be careful. Joey Jojo, not using his real name because I don't want to bring any more attention to him, is going to go shoot up a school. Someone else saw that post. Snapchat, whatever you call it when you take the picture, screenshotted it, and then on top of the screenshot wrote, hey, this kid's going to shoot a school. Someone else then screenshotted that one and put, hey, he lives at Fisher's. Someone else saw that and put, hey, he goes to Fisher's Junior High. Someone else saw it, and it became this thing of a thing of a thing of a thing of a thing. The one that got passed around wasn't even from that kid. It was a kid talking about a kid, talking about a kid, talking about a kid who saw a thing. And that's what stirred up all of these issues. Then, of course, the drawback comes in. Junior high kids are human. Humans like to talk and stir drama. It's just part of life. It's not just you. It goes all the way up to adults. And, of course, we have a reason for this particular drama because we've had a big issue with people bringing guns into schools, and so people legitimately freak out. But going all the way back to it, and one of the things I've passed along to any kid that's talked to me is, I never saw an original threat. There was never a kid who posted a thing saying, I'm going to come shoot your school. Never happened. It was a kid trying to draw attention to himself, posting a picture, and then someone else talking about a thing they saw, and then people talking about the thing that they saw. And then from there, it's just people talking, which people do. And so that's what sort of stirred all of this. But I understand the fear. For me, as an adult, it's weird to think that this is a legit fear that you guys have to be. Because when I was in school, back during dinosaur times, this had never happened. It'd be similar to you learning now that when you have kids, you're going to have to worry about warning them about daily alien attacks. And they're going to be doing alien drills because the aliens are out there. Right now you're like, Mr. Brovicast, that's crazy. The same thought. That this is a worry you guys have to have. But unfortunately, it's a legit worry. Someday, when we have the random aliens who keep landing and coming and invading schools, we'll have those same drills. Anyone seen the fifth wave? Yeah. And so it's the same idea there. And so that's what we're getting into with this whole spinning of things and stuff from there. Another quick side note to let you know that it's not just you. This same thing happened on a national level just last week. Because I was thinking about doing a nonfiction thing about it, but we sort of ran out of time. You asked this moment ago, Sharp, anything we did not get a chance to do. It was this article I found. It was a school that's out somewhere west, and they have their end-of-the-year carnival the kids have been looking forward to. They had to cancel the carnival because of a threat that was made against the school. Here's the problem. There was never actually a threat made. It was people talking. Here's how it started. There was I don't know if you call it a meme. What if you call like Throwback Thursday on Instagram? You have like a thing and people just like randomly do stuff. And you're like, I'm going to join in that. There was the same thing on Twitter with adults. And you're supposed to post your 5 previous jobs that you'd had before your current one. You're like, for me, it was like I was a teacher, then I worked at a daycare, and then I worked at a movie theater, and then I worked at a grocery store, and I was a paper. And so you list whatever 5 jobs you had previously. There was a state senator from somewhere out east in like Washington, and he did the same thing. He was like, I'll connect with everybody, so I'll list my 5 jobs. And he did. And so it was titled, The 5 Jobs I Had. And then below that, he listed the 5 jobs he did. A random internet troll. You guys know what trolls are?
Yeah. No.
Good. The people who just, random internet troll, found this guy's post, and then highlighted 5 letters in the title that spelled out jihad. For the 5 jobs I've had, did the J-I-H-A-D. A jihad is when the people from other countries go kind of and they attack people. And so he highlighted the letters jihad and then highlighted the first 5 letters of each job, G-U-S-V-D. And said, look, this senator is posting about the fact that there is going to be an attack on this school district because it says G-U-S-V-D. So he Googled until he found a school district that had the initials G-U-S-V-D and said, look, here's proof this guy knows there's going to be an attack, and he hid it in his Twitter post. Put that out there. People went nuts and said, obviously there's some basis behind this. Because of that, the adults in the school district refused to go to the end-of-the-year carnival because they were afraid there was going to be an attack. They even went back and found the original guy. And he said, yeah, I made that up. It was hilarious. But because people had started talking so much, people got so scared that a thing was going to happen, they ended their school's carnival. The one that the kids have been looking forward to all year because of this one random post. And these are full-grown adults who did the same thing. Because it happened here, all it means is you're human. Sorry to let you know. So everything that's been happening, that's been building up to this, it's just part of being human. Humans talk, humans freak out about things, and that's sort of what this was. We're good to go on that now? Yay. Now, happy thoughts. You guys yelling at me. Any other ideas on things you want to change before we talk about stabbing people? No.
Wait,
Happy thoughts. The thing's about changing my room. The stabbing people's not happy thoughts. I mean, unless you don't like the count. I'm okay, fine.
Who likes the count?
Well, I mean,
Likes the count.
well, the journals will be an option I'm going to do next week. What I'm going to do with your journals is, it was actually an idea from kids from previous years. Here at the end of the year, because for the most part, your grades are pretty well set with everything you've done. turning in your journal, whether good or bad, is not going to move your grade a whole lot. So what I do is I make it optional. If you want to turn in your journal next week, I will grade it for you. It's not extra credit. It just goes in as a grade. If you don't turn it in, it doesn't count as a 0. It just counts as a grade that was never taken for you. And the reason you would turn it in is if you are close to a grade, like if you're at a B+ and you're trying to get to an A-, you did all of your work in there, you would turn in your notebook and it would probably be enough to bump you up like half a percentage point, something along those lines. But the drawback is I won't get a chance to get them back to you because I'll be grading them probably that last teacher work day. So if you'd rather hold on to your journal, hold on to it, and that's fine with me. If you want to turn it in, I'll be more than happy to grade it for you, and I'll put it in there. But I give you guys the option because by this point, it's not going to be a major impact on your grade. But if you're close and you want to bump it, I'm more than happy to try and help bump you. Does that help? Yes. Yes.
Okay,
not
so-
you.
I don't want to raise my hand, so just call me.
She's talking during my turn.
You just interrupted her. Who would do such a thing?
She wasn't talking.
She's talking. How would you?
She's talking about.
Everton.
Okay, so I think that like the kid that has like the most points like out of everyone,
Ooh.
like all of your classes,
Yes.
Once a month, you should like let them like switch things around in your room, just like barely, but not let anyone else know, so everyone would just be like, wait, that was there the whole time. Sort of like at the Hidden Theory, you moved that doll around a bit.
I never moved that doll. That's ridiculous.
No, yeah, you did.
What?
Like you say alert, like
You
stuff
literally
like that.
told us.
So, so you want them to just randomly mess with other children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like having it like wouldn't it be fun though?
Like, because you would get to, like, have
It's
them,
like
like, go
psychological
around.
warfare.
We need more of that in this class.
Yeah, we need to confuse children more in my room. That's what it's missing.
You could do it like.
It's an interesting idea. My only issue with that one is that I've moved stuff around in here enough that a lot of times I don't have other places to put things. Because if you were like, I want you to move all of your poster like that, so it'd have to be a thing I could actually move.
Like,
But
at least like the
They can
left or
add
something like
something.
that. Just
Yeah.
to
Sure.
mix with people.
I could see something like that. I'm not against it. You just have to work with it. I'm a bit of a control freak. I mean, you might
I
not
knew
know
that.
such things.
Thank you.
But so I hide it pretty well. Thank you. And so that was part of the issue going into it. But yeah, I could probably find ways to work that into
Or
it.
they could add something.
Young Sharpleton.
You should take away the group project that we did at the beginning of the year, where we like cut out the 5 things and glued it, because that was boring and a waste of time.
Well, one, that used to be a week and a half long project.
What?
I cut it down to a day.
It's so.
And the fact that you spend
boring.
one day working on it, you can survive one day. Because it tells me, for
we don't
me,
learn anything from it.
I learned something from it. Wow. I mean, one, I learned attitude, apparently. 2, I want to figure out how, beginning of the year, I need to figure out how kids operate with each other. And so that allows me, one, to figure out, because if not, if it's just me teaching and you guys sitting there staring at me, I don't get
But
to
it's
see
so
you
fun.
interact. You're interrupting me now. Who would do such a...
It's
And
fun.
so because of that,
You don't
watching you
get
guys work in a group for a day, I get to figure out who that kid is. That kid.
Oh, that kid?
And so
Yeah.
this is my easy way in one day to figure out
Whoa.
quickly who that kid is. And so for me, I learn a lot. If you guys don't learn anything, stop being selfish. Think about me. Hi, Sharp. Would you like to yell at me again?
Okay, so here's another idea. You could do a group project, but like you should change it, because like
So it's not in groups?
no, like so it's in group,
Okay.
but a different like concept. So it's not just cutting and pasting. So it's like actually like you know.
You're interviewing each other.
No, but like more than that, not just like actually doing something.
You're making a poster.
No, just no.
I seem to be hurting you, and I'm way over here.
Just can't.
I can't even. Like an odd
Explain
number.
it.
I'll do what I
You
can
should
then.
just change it, like make like a new project that's still in group, so it's like not the same as the previous years.
I recommend that.
What? What?
Owen.
You should have like a running list of the weirdest things that have happened in your room, and at the end of the year, just like read them off. Just
Yes!
Well, that got traction.
Do you have any
One,
here?
I never try to really keep track of stuff like that. I try to
I do.
more.
I have so many for
Yeah,
science.
it would just say Lily. Period. My personality is to try and let go and move on. So I try not to dwell on
Just like
such
the
things.
funny
But
weird things,
I'll
not
see
like
what I
the
can
mean
do.
good things.
I am good at keeping lists and track.
Shit
But,
anywhere behind
alright.
your desk and picked it up like that.
Kevin.
Okay, so I was thinking, like, for test reviews, if you can't get the Jeopardy buttons, or time.
Right.
Or do a different kind of review game.
Which might happen someday.
You could do a Kahoot, but if you get the question wrong, you have to exit the Kahoot, and the last person gets, I don't know.
So it's like the last person.
I'll have to, because I've never really played around with Kahoot much. I'm not a
It's
Kahooter.
not very fun.
And so that's, I like the buzzers, but they're 20-some years old, so I don't know how much life is left
They're
in
so
them.
fun, Brovie.
But I'm going to hold on to those for as long as I can, but I'm keeping ideas of what to do once they finally do their last badir. Because there'll be a day when we go, I'm like, no! We're just not to that day yet. But yeah, that's on my list of things I'm thinking.
I'll come back in 20 years and see
All right,
what's
hang
about
on.
the buzzers.
1, 2, 3, and then I move on. 1.
And 2. So one thing has to do with this,
Uh-huh.
and I found a word that isn't on the bottom.
Is it a word from Princess Bride or just a word?
It's a word from Princess Bride. It's farmers. It's not on the bottom.
It is.
Where?
Apparently it is.
It's
We're
not
gonna go with
there.
your
Yes, it is.
Yeah, second column at the very bottom.
Yeah, it is. Never mind. Okay. I didn't see it. Okay, number 2. Remember the project we did in the first thing that she's trying to change?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what if you did the same thing at the end of the year and like compared them? And so, at the beginning of the year, you should like keep them, and then you can and put the same groups together at the end of the year, and then compare everything that's
Yeah,
changed.
something fun like that.
Different questions to each other.
Interesting.
No. The same questions, or you could do like compare like things that were in different classes. You could be like, okay, this was my favorite subject, blah 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 blah. So at the beginning of the year, instead of doing like your favorite animals, like or whatever we did, or our hobbies, instead of that in the beginning of the year, we do like what's our favorite subject. Now that we've started, and we could be in first period, but we don't know what our favorite subject is, and be like, okay, normally my favorite subject is science, but at the end of the year, you're like, oh, well now it's English.
Not a bad idea. All right. Everton?
Another way to embarrass kids. So,
Love that.
okay, so for like the last day of school, or like the last day that we're with you and you jump stories, you should make like a slideshow of each kid in the class, and then like take picture like their picture from the beginning of the year, and then take pictures of like all of their projects that they've like turned into you, like bad and like good. It's just
comment?
and then, like,
Part of my issue is I don't try to embarrass kids.
but
Yes,
it
you do.
works
That's such a
so
lie.
well.
I don't. You guys just naturally embarrass yourself with your choices.
true.
But I don't seek out things to be mean to you
We'll
for.
embarrass ourselves and then you'll like add to it.
It's a
And
group effort.
Nate.
Okay, so I was thinking maybe just another way to annoy children. You could just try and mix up all the junk on your wall, like every break. You could just come in and mix it up a lot, and you just annoy kids.
I do it every summer break. I mix up stuff. So that's one of the things I do over the summertime when I come in here. I have to move, because the kids give me enough stuff that I have to rotate things through. So over the years, I take stuff off and put new things up there. And over the summertime, I move things around in my room. So when you guys come in, a lot of you are like, nothing has changed. When really it has. It's just that there's so much in here. You don't notice when I move 20% of it around. It's the other 80% that overwhelms you. But yeah, I still move some things around, but not everything. No, and no.
It's not an idea. It's comment.
I'm moving on.
Okay,
You
well,
said
anyway,
and no.
Okay, so
And
what
here.
good is what
So
you're
extra
doing?
B point up. Still me moving on. Extra B point opportunity. For those of you who are wanting it, here's the way it's going to work. I am trying to track down a copy of the original Morgenstern.
That should be easy.
And so not the Goldman version. And you don't have to buy it for me. I mean, you can. My birthday's coming up. But more just if you can find me a link to it. Now, with that, I have a copy of his other book. Because Morgenstern released The Silent Gondoliers. And so I've already got a copy
That
of
sounds
that
weird.
one. The Gondoliers, people who sing and like
I
inventors,
don't
things
know.
like that. There's one who
no,
lost his
they
voice.
sing when they gone to leave.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's why it's the whole idea of a book. He has no voice, and how you do it.
That's so cool.
It's a cool idea. But anyway, this was another book that he wrote, which I enjoyed. And I have The Silent Gondoliers by Morgenstern. I'm looking for the original Princess Bride, with all the extra things in there so I can taunt kids. Apparently, it's tough to do. And I had kids ask me about it, so I thought about looking for it myself. I'm like, wait a minute. I can just make you guys do the work for me and then reward you for it. So what I'm going to offer is B points. How many? Depends on how many kids email me. The more kids who send it to me, the fewer points you get, because I'm not an idiot. And I realize one of you will find it and then share it on a group chat, and then all of a sudden 30 kids send it to me, and you're like, we're all geniuses! So then it goes down to like a half a point each. Whereas if you just send it to me, and it's just the one person, I'll give you like 10 points. So we're going to see if you can figure out how many points it is. If it's not worth it to you, then don't do it. Problem solved. And so we'll try to help you out along those lines. So it's just an idea I had to try and throw out there. Kevin.
Okay, so I already looked it up.
All right. Well, not right now. Fascinating. All right. So now moving on to the next one while Kevin has a meltdown.
Oh, Brovicast, how do you spell Holocaust?
No idea. And so with this one, we already talked about the albino with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So make sure we covered that one with you guys on that one. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk more about the Buttercup's baby and what happens in there, and we'll sort of get into a bit more with that one. Before I do my babbly thing, did you guys have questions about the end of the book? As far as
so
things?
good.
If you've not finished the book, once again, that's fine. You're more than welcome to read, and we're going to be giving away stuff in a little bit. If not, then you're more than welcome to push the test back. Once again, absolutely fine. I agree, it is a good book. I also agree it is long, and for many of you, it's probably the longest book you've ever had to try to get through.
That's
so
not
if
true.
not, go you. If it is, I understand. I'm just trying to help you.
What is his name?
I wonder if you had questions. No. Then things from me. We did that one. We talked about the fire swamp with you guys already.
Yeah.
We have the 3 dangers,
Yeah.
which are
The rats, the sand,
The
and
rodents of unusual size, and then you have the fire that comes up, and then you have the
Snow sand.
snow sand where you can sink down into it, stuff like that. Yes.
Jason.
Uh-huh.
Is snow sand cold?
What color is
I
it?
don't think so.
Wait, is it
I myself
orange
have
juice?
never fallen into it, but yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting
Just
question.
search up the average internal
Average
temperature
Okay,
of
so
quick
like,
sand.
what if like the snow sand is like named the snow sand because like it's like it gets colder and that's like how it like works.
Like the
I mean,
deeper
it
you
sounds
go.
like a legit thing.
When I look at the snow sand, it's like sand, but it's
Blue.
gray.
Snow sand for your next toss. Like, you know how, like,
Yeah.
it's like this stuff where like, you put water and it feels like snow, like in like
Yeah, I have some of that actually on my desk.
You should like make that and like pass a little bit around until like this is snow sand.
Like
Something
the thing when you do the outside
Like
like
with
a
the-
cologne. It's a snow
Oh,
sand.
all right.
And then make
I can
snowballs
probably
and
get some
throw
of
it.
that.
How you killed the
I'll have to
little thing.
put it. I would never.
That was so much fun.
Next
Next
one,
one,
I'll throw
yeah.
it at problem
Right, you should
child.
record that and replay it at the end
I
of the
did
year.
not scream.
What, me stabbing Lily?
Yes, or not each kid you do. You'll do each period. You like put a camera in
And after
Elmo.
like 10 years, you should go like over all of the kids you did.
Well, that's recording children.
I'm not
You
gonna-
did the holy call.
I'm not going to record myself stabbing children. That would be wrong. Creepy wink. Nate.
The snow sand thing, you could make snowballs and throw them at problem child.
That's not.
I don't think that's how snow. I don't think it compacts it. I don't actually. I have no
If you
idea.
can, wait, if you're trying to reach in, wouldn't it just pull you in?
I don't. It's not like an octopus. I don't
No,
think
but
it,
if you lean in, when you just start sinking down.
I think you just pull your hand back out.
Well,
He got out of it. He didn't die in it. You can't
When
leave
you
it.
have salt,
It's not a
Something
black
weak
hole in
not pull you
space.
in.
you don't know.
It's not like gravity.
Where's the bottom of it, Mr. Brovicast? Where does it go?
7 more days. 7 more days. So what do we know about the six-fingered man?
He's Count Rugen.
Good job.
Rugen.
And he has 6 fingers. Nicely done.
On his right hand, not 3 on each hand.
And apparently he did. And what was Inigo's father's
He
name?
made Domingo
Montoya. Domingo Montoya.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and he tested the
Yeah,
machine.
he does have a name. Domingo. And
It has cups, and you go on the person, he goes, and you zap them, and it takes away your life.
there you go. Takes away years of your life. Basically, it's just supposed to inflict pain. So is it like math class? Pretty much, yeah.
That was so
It's
much
just-
fun.
It's like math class, but in a machine. Where it just like applies little cups to you and just like does like formulas and equations. Like, what's the square root? You're like, no! And it just like sucks out the life out of you. And who created it?
Count Rugen, how do you say his name?
The six-finger
The
man.
six-finger man, Count Rugen. And then his name is Tyrone. Nicely done.
I knew it was
Tyrone
Ty.
No, it's Tyrone,
I know, but, like,
the prince
they
called
call
him
it
The
Ty.
person
Yeah.
that Fesnik was on.
Besnick.
Anyway.
Besnick?
So, with the Brute Squad, because one, I had the shirt I tried to wear for you guys yesterday, then failed a little bit. Why does he have the Brute Squad?
So he can, like, get everyone out of
The Thieves' Quarters.
thieves' quarters.
Why is he trying to get everyone out of the Thieves' Quarters?
Because that's where Besnick and Nico are.
Because he says that there is a plot to kill Princess Buttercup.
Yeah.
Is there a plot to kill her?
Yes.
And who's at the center of that plot?
Him.
Right.
Whoa.
So when he's out there saying, hey, I've heard all these rumors out there. Are there rumors? No. So why is he saying all of this stuff about rumors
So
in
no
the
one
thieves'
gets suspicious of him.
There you go. And so he's planning on Buttercup dying. Why does he want Buttercup to die?
So he can go to war.
Because he really likes going to war and fighting. But he has to have a reason to go to war. If not, then the people won't rally behind him.
He's going to
So
blame the Gilder people.
that's where he comes up with this idea of, hey, I'll get married. And then after I get married and everyone falls in love with her, then I'll have her killed. And at that point, everyone will rally up and say, hey, you should go out and do this whole big battle. Then I get to have a war and everything
And
is
then
great.
Yellen's going to rule Gilder.
And the problem is, only one other person aside from him knows this.
Yellen.
No.
No.
Oh.
Rugen.
Count Rugen.
Oh, he tells Yellen.
Now, Yellen, I think, isn't he the guy that controls the guards, right?
Yeah, but then he
Yeah,
ends
he
up telling
resigned,
her.
and then to keep him,
Did he?
Yeah.
It felt like a dream. I don't know. It was really
No, it was
confusing.
not.
It was like
It's
we're
when
kind of like,
Yellen
I
went
mean,
to resign, but then
Right.
the king, the king told him his plans.
Not the king.
So
The king
Prince-
can't. King
the
mumbles.
Prince, the
Yeah,
prince.
the
The
prince.
prince told him his plans.
Right.
And then so he could stay and help them, like against
was
the
that fake or
attack.
not? 'Cause,
It
like,
was
there was
real.
that fake scene.
It was
and,
We have,
that
like,
was confusing.
The flashbacks inside the
So, like, I
flashbacks.
wasn't sure if it was like he did it and then he was like thinking it or like
Nope.
it's
Nope.
hard.
It happened.
Lily seems really confident
It
about
did.
this one, so I'm going to roll with her for now.
I will find you.
Yes.
Because he was talking to him because he was trying to resign because he didn't want to do. He didn't want to.
Because he couldn't find the thieves, anyone in the thieves'
yeah,
quarter.
and he
And
just
he's
wanted
like, there's
to
no one
get
down there. And he's like, I can't figure this out. He's like, he's like, what rumors are you talking about?
Yeah, he's saying
then-
he's a liar and he's not really true.
I remember that
He
part.
resigned. He says he's gonna resign.
Okay.
And then Humperdinck's like,
Can't do that.
you don't do that because
That makes
I
sense.
need you to do this for me.
Yeah.
'cause-
That's what I thought. It's been a little bit since I've read that part.
Well, I read it last night.
Come on, Bro.
I have failed you. I apologize. Speaking of letters and failing, Buttercup, what letter is she writing?
A letter to Wesley to make him come back to take her home.
And that's when she tells the prince, hey, he loves me. He's definitely going to show up again, and we're going to get along, and things are going to go great.
And then
Miracle
Deathly
Max.
Things-
And then
Oh,
he's
Max.
supposed to send out, what, 4 ships?
4 ships.
Four fastest ships.
In the 4 fastest ships in 4 different directions to try and find him.
But he doesn't
Why?
because
Yeah,
Wesley's
because
with
that's
him.
He knows we're not going to find Wesley on the water because Wesley's stuck down there in the whole pit, which then brings us to the plant we did that one.
No.
Oh. Don't worry, we have more talking we'll get to tomorrow. We'll talk about stuff there and our final thoughts and fun things from there.
Wait.
Once again, as far as the end of the book and the test, that'll be Friday. Other than that, be safe, happy thoughts, make the world a better place. You can come forward.
Are you Mr. Butt?